morning, everybody, and welcome to Life as I See It with your hostess, Dina Nierenberg, and my favorite co-hostess of all time, Jana Ganusareva. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, Dina. Good morning, everyone. So nice to see you today.
Thank
It's
you.
such a beautiful day, and thank you so much for inviting me here.
Oh, my pleasure, my absolute pleasure. So where are we today? Today we are at Dr. E.L. Levit's cosmetic dermatology practice here in the heart of lovely Manhattan Beach. It is so gorgeous here. The people are absolutely amazing. Later on, you're going to be meeting Dr. Levit and Monica, who is his right-hand girl, and it's just a pleasure to be here. I absolutely love coming here myself. I get my fillers here, I get my Botox here, I get my laser done here, peels, you name it. And before you call me vain, let's take a step back. Many people, as a matter of fact, most 99% of the population really does care what they look like. Now I'm talking on the outside. They really do care what they look like. It's a shame when people don't accept that this is how people are. We by nature care what we look like, but also nature we care what other people are seeing. We see ourselves in the morning, but then also people see us. And we care more than we think. Some people care more, some people care a bit less. But for the people that care a bit more, and I'm one of them, I have to say, I used to think that being vain was wrong. And then I hit age 16, 17. I became more and more aware of the world around me. And I said, hey, you're not always going to be a teenager. There may actually come a day when you might consider doing something for yourself. And we're talking now in the 80s. There wasn't a whole lot to do in the 80s besides for the facelift. Back then, Botox was an unheard of thing that wasn't even created yet. It wouldn't be created till the early 2000s. But back then, I always said, I know that whatever they are able to innovate over the next few decades, count me in. Count me in. The second I feel like I need it, count me on in. And I did. I reached my mid-30s. I started to realize, I looked in the mirror. It was like after summer of just like vacationing and tanning and eating whatever. So I looked in the mirror and I said, it's really time to do something. Mm-hmm. And don't call yourself this vain, you know what? You're not. You can take care of yourself. There's nothing at all wrong with doing that. And that's when I learned that you can actually have it all. You can take care of your outside, and at the same time, you can nurture your insides in many ways. Nutrition, but we're not going to really be discussing nutrition today, but how to take care of yourself on the inside, to kind of have like a spa within your mind, And you know all about spas.
Definitely, it has to be all balanced. Right. The spiritual balance with your look, and only in this combination we can function properly. It has to be. We cannot do a lot of things without being uncomfortable and confident. That everything builds confidence.
True.
And our spiritual growth builds on learning, experiencing. But beauty, look, the way we want to appear, it's definitely an extra work. Sometimes we do need an extra help. And specialists like doctors, dermatologists, estheticians, cosmetologists definitely can assist you with that.
It's so true. You look in the mirror, and if you like how you look, it's going to affect your entire attitude. See, I'm one of these people who, when I was much younger, I thought, okay, well, first work on your insides and that's going to show on your outsides. That's not true. I'm somebody who's here today to say that if you're willing to work on your outsides, this means your skin, this means your appearance, this means Botox where necessary, and Restylane, and the thread lift, whatever it's going to take. You don't like your nose, why not get them straightened out with some fillers? With Restylane can do that as well. And it occurred to me that yes, you take care of your outer appearance, but how do you take care of your inner appearance? I've learned it's not through thinking. thinking unfortunately creates more and more and more of the same, and that's a problem.
Yes,
That's
yes.
a problem.
Actually, that's what I've recently
Yeah,
realized.
yeah, that's right.
Talking and thinking to someone, it's so much better than just thinking to yourself.
Yeah, oh,
Because most of the time when we think on our own without a company, it's more like self-analyzing life and self-criticizing.
be horrible.
But when we have thoughts and a conversation with someone, that's when our companion can actually stop us from
Right
doing
there.
that.
It's like,
Right there,
no,
and be like,
no,
you know
no,
what,
no, no, no,
that's
no.
enough.
No.
Yes, and that's important. And it took me years to understand that, because I'm also such a big overthinker, and it comes to everything. It's spiritual, look-wise, and we have thousands of reasons to criticize ourselves. So many things, but to find a way to compliment and, as I like this word, balance ourselves with
right.
spiritually and look-wise, that's when we need people in our life.
I love it. I love it. See, there's nothing wrong with taking care of your outer appearance, but it also has to go along with taking care of helping out the world. You know, so we're not meant to be these people who just kind of like sort of stay in a corner. We're meant to be out there, you know? I used to be so much in my mind. I had like this entire life that went on inside of my mind, and Jana, it was horrible. I mean, yeah, I was getting my manis, petties, and blowing out my hair and every day, whatever, did all that stuff, but I wasn't really taking care of the insides. And that was really, really, really pretty bad. And I finally came to realize it's not what you think, it's what you do. You do. If you find that you're thinking too much, bring yourself to the world around you. Talk to people. And when you talk to people, don't just talk to them. You focus on them, you know? You focus on the people that you're talking to. You know, we create such an identity for ourselves from the minute that we're born, and we think we have to cling on to this identity, and we spend a lot of time thinking, does this match up? Does what I just did match up to my identity, the way, you know, I think about myself? And when we find that we are like, you know, came up short, we get so angry at ourselves. But the goal is to live life. I mean, to really, really, really live life. If you're inside your mind, you're not living life at all. You're living minds, but you're not living life. Part of living life is to be out there, first of all, taking care of yourself, taking care of other people, taking care of your appearance as well, just taking care. It's all around. You know, it's to me, this is like the bottom line. You've got to take care. And now there are people who they don't want, let's say, to get Botox or something like that. Instead, find other ways to take care of yourself.
Right.
Moisturize, sunblock. Sunblock. We're at a dermatologist's office. I cannot emphasize that enough. You must sunblock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Face massage.
That's right.
Now there are so many things like microneedling. You can do it just such a huge boost of collagen production.
That's right.
Bunch of lasers. You
Yeah,
can do.
IPL. IPL is
Yeah.
done here, and it's amazing. Amazing.
It's find your ways. If
that's
you,
right.
of course, if you don't like those fine lines on your skin,
Uh-huh.
but if you're comfortable with that, that's your approach. Some people,
that's right.
it's all about
Do what
if
you
feel
feel.
like yes, and you feel young. You are young.
Oh God, I feel young.
And yes,
And I'm nearing
young.
50, and I feel very, very young. And it's in large part due to the fact that I like my appearance. And I do come here religiously to Dr. Levit. I do get my Botox here. I have no problem explaining to the entire audience. I love coming here. This is my spa day. I get my Botox here. I get my Restylane here. By nature, don't have the most amazing nose, you know? And it shouldn't be a big deal, but I care. And I'm going to accept the fact that I do care what my nose looks like. So I do come here and I do get it straightened out with some Restylane. And I do this once a year, and I love it. Money well spent. Better to spend money, I believe, on your facial features, on your face, on your neck, décolleté, than it is to, let's say, buy a new dress. And now you're going to be meeting the fantastic staff of Dr. E.L. Levit Dermatology. Come with me, please. I've had a few minutes here now to do some thinking, and it really is true what John and I were discussing, that it's so important to focus outward instead of inward. You focus inward, and that's when the selfish starts to happen. You look in the mirror and you see a young person, and you're like, yes, I can do this. And not only that, then you start to focus on the outside. You stop focusing inward, and you stop focusing on your biological age. What's a biological age anyway? I'm a major believer that we have multiple lifetimes. I'm a major believer that our soul is ageless, absolutely ageless. I know people who are 30 years younger than me, but yet behave older than me, and their maturity is more than mine is. I mean, I'm a 49-year-old with like a 17-year-old soul. So go figure. We're all ageless. You know, yeah, bodies do age. In order to live our best lives with the life that we're dealing with, absolutely this very minute, take care of your body. Make sure that you're making the absolute most of every single moment of your life. There's nothing worse than staying locked inside your thoughts. You stay locked inside your thoughts, that's when you start to feel old. And that's when you start to feel like you have this identity that you can never, ever break out of. It's time for you to make yourself free. Enjoy your life in every way. Take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. Don't get stuck. And never, ever think that you are stuck with the appearance that you have. And I said before, look, I never loved my nose. I had it straightened out by Dr. Levit. I'm so happy. I look in the mirror and I see a great straight nose. Always wanted to have one. And it affected not just my appearance, but my confidence. If you need it for yourself, you've got to go ahead and do it. Dr. Levit is the best cosmetic dermatologist in town. 35 West End Avenue in Manhattan Beach, Brooklyn, New York. Dr. Levit, nice to see you again.
It's beautiful to see you.
Oh,
it's
thank you.
gorgeous. Well, first of all, I have to say that the energy with which you always come in is truly what makes you the special person that you are, makes you the beautiful person. It's not really me. It's the light and the beauty that you exude from the inside. And you can make, as a cosmetic surgeon, as a plastic surgeon, you can make the person look good on the outside. But if they don't have that kindness, that positive energy, that smile that emanates from the inside, you still don't look good. And it's something that they would never be happy.
That's true.
So it's it's an honor for me to have someone who is amazing like you to treat, because that's the dream of every cosmetic dermatologist, to treat someone who is so beautiful on the inside, because it makes my work easy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's.
And I also love Dina's philosophy, because the idea that Dina says is, instead of trying to spend more money on a bigger ring or on some clothes, not that those are not important, or on a vacation or on a restaurant, you know, if you have to decide where to spend it, you want to spend on something that remains with you. There is a beautiful story that I was talking to my son. He's studying Torah Shebe'al Peh, which means there are parts of the Bible that are not written, they are spoken. And there is a story about a person who went on a boat, on a sea voyage. During that time, sea voyages were very dangerous. And everybody took something with them that they could sell over there, that they could, pass on, because that's how you make the money. And this one guy didn't come with any of that stuff. And they're like, what are you selling? What are you? It's like, no, I just have my book, my Bible, that's what I go with. And then pirates came over and took everything that they had on the boat. And from him, there was nothing. The book, they didn't care about the book. And when they came over to the land eventually, all of them were poor. And he had the way to handle life, the path. He had it inside his head. whether it is education, whether it is medicine, whether it is whatever it is, nobody can take it from you. That's part of you. And that is something that you do that will remain part of you. You take it wherever you go, whether today you forgot to put your makeup or you didn't maybe do your hair that well, you still are beautiful. You're still radiating that healthy, youthful, energetic skin. And one of the things that I agree with you and I've been practicing more of is trying to approach the person. I think when you are searching for a cosmetic dermatologist or you're searching how you can improve yourself, it's important to remember you don't want to only go skin deep. You don't want to only improve on the outside. It's important to help you holistically. And what Dina is saying is that you have to have the right mindset. That is very, 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 very important. But it's not only the right mindset. In the past, when we look at some of the philosophers, they were saying, I think it was Descartes, he was saying that I think, therefore I am.
That's Descartes,
Oh, that's
yes.
Descartes,
Yes.
okay. The idea afterwards that was proven is that it's actually perhaps the other way. I am, therefore I think. Meaning you can act yourself into feeling better. And that begins with the smile, with what you have. So, you have maybe a bad day, but you force yourself like, I'm smiling. Maybe you do it in the mirror. Maybe you do it because you are presenting to someone a story or you're trying to empower other people, make them feel happier. Whatever is your calling, that will push you to actually feel better. And once you do that, you say good morning to your coworkers with a smile. And suddenly, you get this beautiful smile. So that's very, very important. Now, another thing is it's hard to smile if your joints hurt. It's hard to smile if your heart palpitates out of the order. So you need to take care of your health as well. And there are different ways to treat. Now, in medicine, unfortunately, they taught us in medical school that we need to treat the problem. A person comes with a heart problem, you treat the heart problem. A person comes with a joint problem, you treat the joint problem. The issue is it's not holistic and it's not preventive. We know how to prevent. We know. And we have to start early. Just like we're talking about sunblock so you don't develop skin cancer, there are other things that you can do. Whether it's proper eating, whether it's proper exercise, whether it's proper sleeping. I mean, I can talk about it. I wish I was following all that stuff myself. But those things are important. And you can improve your genetics. So there are tests that you can do that can tell you your genetic age. So there's chronological aging, where we're, candles of our birthday. And then there is our genetic aging. And the genetic aging is affected by a variety of pollutants that we're exposed to. It could be the type of food that we eat. For example, if you eat methionine, which is an amino acid that is derived from meat, it's more likely to cause a certain part of your gene to develop more, and that's called the mTOR. If the mTOR develops more, it actually makes your body feel like you can build extra muscle, life is good, we're not in trouble, and it doesn't learn to reuse what it already has. And so you can consider it as it cannot recycle the cells. And so it starts building more and more and more. And now you have bigger, and now you have to support that bigger stuff, which takes up more energy. And you don't only have to support that bigger stuff, but you have to watch to make sure that there is no cancer, no mutations developing in that bigger stuff, which takes up more energy. And so they found that if you take the methionine from vegetables, you will have enough of it to support your continued health and not too much that it will end up influencing that part of the gene system that leads to lack of recycling. And then there are other things as well, like the cyclic AMP and like sirtuins, which were made famous by David Sinclair. He's a researcher at Harvard who works on sirtuins. Had a wonderful book that came out that it's called Lifespan. So if you look at that, you understand that we are in an amazing time in our life. The innovation is amazing. It's at our fingertips. You can grab it, you can use it. It is effective. you simply have to be open-minded, and you have to find the right physician who would be also open-minded to take that path together with you, so that you can live healthier, more beautiful life into an older age. So when we're talking about older age, we're not thinking about machines. We're not thinking about poor people with those wheelchairs, walkers,
Right.
but actually a good quality of life where you can enjoy the outdoors, where you can feel that you want to go for another 20 years and celebrate all the holidays and the birthday candles with all your great grandchildren.
Nice, nice. I love that. Thank you so much, Dr. Levit.
Thank you, Dina.
I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. It's so fabulous to be here today. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today.
Thank you for coming here today and for choosing to help spread that idea and message, because I am very excited to share the information. I try always whatever I can to share on Instagram, but it's small. You have a much stronger, much wider, better informed audience, so it's really, I'm grateful that you were willing to come and to spread the word. Thank you.
My pleasure. This has been absolutely fabulous. So I think that the great big takeaway from all of this, everything that we've been saying today, is you've got to take care of yourself in every single way. If you don't love your appearance, take care of that. Why should you have to suffer? If you have poor physical health, take care of that. Preventative health, take care of that. Eat right, sleep right, exercise. Attitude is important. It's absolutely everything. And I'm a psychology professor at Touro College, and I firmly believe, and I teach my students every single semester, the first lesson I speak all about humanistic psychology, and I talk all about what the humanists believed in, Carl Rogers, Abraham Maslow, Rollo May, how important it is to love ourselves unconditionally, no matter what's said to us, no matter what we do.
It's very hard. It's very hard.
It's so hard. It's easy for me to talk about as a professor and as a person, but to practice, I am a walking art in practicing it, and I try to practice it every single day. And it doesn't matter if it's my mom, my husband, my child, my student, my friends, my doctors, my friends, everybody, absolutely everybody. Just show straight across the board, no matter who they are. Love them, no matter what, unconditionally. When you are hanging out in somebody else's presence, look into their soul, absolutely. And even, let's say, supposing you don't like what they're saying, look beyond that. It's about going beyond that, going soul to soul, and realizing it's all about leaving your mind behind, because your mind is going to try to convince you that you have to think this way about them because they said that. You have to think this way about them because perhaps they look like that. But it's all about saying, it doesn't matter what they said or what they did, just keep on treating them with so much respect, human kindness, and it spreads. It does spread. And I did an experiment one day. I had a fruit platter, and I was, outside picnicking, and we had so much of that fruit platter. We had a small fruit platter, but even so, they gave us humongous amounts of fruit. I said, okay, we're all done eating here. Let me now take it around to random strangers. I've never seen them before. I'm never in my life going to see them again. Offer fruit. And I started offering fruit around, and I want you to know that 95% of the people took some food, and not only did they take the fruit, they said, thank you, wow, you made my day, and literally smiling, at me like, wow, like I made their life. And they walked away with a smile. They came up to, my miniature fruit stand, just like, having their day, looking down at their dog, looking down at their phone, not really smiling, very, very day-to-day, very like ho-hum, out of the ordinary kind of thing. And then they saw me presenting with a big smile on my face, a fruit platter, and I'm like, take whatever you like. We have so much fruit to offer. That totally changed them. They went from having an ordinary day to having an extraordinary day. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about helping myself and everybody around me to have an extraordinary day every day. Every day, not just holidays, and not just Shabbat, and not just birthdays. Every day should be an extraordinary, absolutely amazing day.
Dina is amazing, and I think one of the things that we have to remember, which is very, very rare, is that quality that you're expressing. And knowing also having the patience to allow a person to talk and to finish talking, even though you may have a question about what they're saying, or you may have an idea that you may forget, and you therefore are thinking about your idea. No, be with them. Your eyes show it. You have to, and there are very, very few people. I'm trying to teach myself to do it because it's very, very hard. And the fact that you do a good deed, a smile, is imagining it like a ripple effect, like throwing a little stone, a little pebble into a lake and seeing how it expands. It's exponential. So what you think may be something that you're doing to someone and you're taking away from yourself is something that comes back to you 10 times, 100 times false. So I just love everything that you said. It's amazing, and we need to learn more of it, especially here in New York, I think.
Marsha, that's why I did this here in New York, and it was right under the Manhattan Bridge.
Oh, wow.
And you see people, and they're all stressed out, and they're all with their phone, and they're all with the dog, and they're like, no, don't do, and they're talking, they're like screaming at their kids and that.
I'm curious, what did your family say about that when you were doing? Did you say, are you cuckoo?
No. As a matter of fact, everybody thought that was so cool. So
Your family
cool.
thought it was a great idea.
100%.
Did they help you do that? Did they help you?
And everybody pitched in.
Oh, wow.
You see, yeah, that's right.
You see, so she was able, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Because if I would do that probably, I would get like, you cookie, you're crazy, or you have nothing else to do.
But you know what? One good deed begets another. I like to imagine that anything I did that day had such a ripple effect, like you were saying. I did a good deed, and so therefore they were happy. And when you're happy, you do more and more and more good deeds. So this made them do a good deed, which probably made their kid do a good deed, which made them be nice to the next guy in school that day. It's everything affects. And it's such an incredible feeling to know that such a little thing can make such a big difference in this world. I mean, what did I do already? I gave some people fruit. I didn't think it was the biggest deal in the world. We had that fruit to give. And how much fruit can you eat already? We started to share.
They actually did a study, and you know about it much more than I do. But when you smile to someone or you say something good to someone, it stimulates dopamine in our brains.
Right.
And dopamine is the good hormone, and also serotonin. So all those things, that is in the banana, which is why maybe the monkeys like bananas, because it has the serotonin inside, makes them happy. You are actually producing just by doing a good deed. And they said that when they tested, the dopamine levels in the person whom you were doing it to also increased. But what was to me surprising was someone observing you doing that good deed, let's say it's your kids or whoever it was, observing you do that good deed, their dopamine levels went up.
That's right.
So this, if you need a scientific proof why you should do good stuff, why you should be positive, why you should listen to Dina's advice, there is a scientific proof to that.
That's right. Pleasure. Many years ago, I spoke to a Kabbalist, and it was a good 14 years ago, and he said to me, Dina, you're an awesome person, but there's something in your life you're doing very, very wrong. So basically, you're a good wife, you're a good mom, but you don't put your heart and soul into it. You don't put everything into it. I said, oh gosh. And he said to me, but I'll tell you the one place where you do put your all into it, and that's when you're teaching. When you're teaching in Torah, you put everything in. You speak to them soul to soul, and they feel it. You put every ounce of your body, you put every one of your billion cells into your body when you're speaking. When you're doing public speaking with your students, it's perfect eye contact, and you listen perfectly. And you're so enraptured by every single word that everybody says. And that's what I learned. I was in my mid-30s, and I learned what I do in school, what I do while I'm teaching, I can learn to do this wherever I am. And basically make this my life work. So it's not just my 9 to 5, not that a professor ever works 9 to 5, I have odd hours, including evenings. But to make being happy and making other people happy and being present and staying positive is not just your 9 to 5 or your evenings. It's every day. It's all day. We're not just at work when we're at work. And I know that sounds kind of sad. It's like, oh gosh, when do I get off of work? At the end of the day, you're never really off of work. You have a calling.
Because it's not a job.
That's right.
This is a vocation.
That's right. That's right. That's right. My vocation is to make everybody around me feel good. And this is true today, and this is true for the rest of my life, as long as I'm biologically here. We all know that the soul goes on and on and on, but as long as I am here in this form right now, it's my job to make myself happy, and therefore I can uplift everybody around me. And that's really what I want to do with the rest of my life.
I love that. And I love that we're doing it right before Rosh Hashanah.
That's right.
So it's a beautiful beginning
right.
to a new year. So
That's right. That's right.
thank you. What a timing.
That's right.
I even forgot you're coming in today. Just like, oh my God, today is doing it.
Timing is absolutely awesome. Wow. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. I learn so much every time I meet you.
Oh, thank
and I
you.
always get inspired. So thank you very much.
The same. I'm also inspired every time I'm here. Thank you so much, Doctor. I really, really appreciate this.
It's my honor. Thank you, Doctor.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much. Hey, you too, Doctor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for allowing me to utilize your office today. I appreciate that.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. For you, what you're doing, it's an amazing service for everybody. So it's my honor if I can play a little role in that.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So, Jana, now you're back with us. And yeah, I recall our day yesterday, and I was telling Dr. Levit all about a fruit platter. You know, we had ordered such a nice fruit platter, but there's a limit to how much fruit you could eat. And we saw people walking past our bench. You know, we were having a picnic. We saw people walking past, and I got to thinking, why not share? Why not share it? So tell me your thoughts on that.
I think it's fantastic, and I admire the giving generosity part. It's unfortunately, for some reason, people are stopped expecting this from another people. They are always surprised, and then whenever you offer them on the street, they just add this beautiful smile and kindness in their eyes. You can see appreciation, and it's so beautiful. But I do believe that you cannot expect. Sometimes we have to give to receive.
Sure.
So whenever you give kindness, you're getting it back. So it just
That's right.
we building protection. We are so afraid to be hurt. Then we are trying to separate ourselves from others. And then when we see the small signs of kindness, and you are always super generous to people, and with this food platter, it's such a great gesture, and I think it was just bringing people to a better mood, and
That's what we saw.
yes,
We did see that. We did see that. That's
it
right.
was an amazing event. Yesterday was probably one of the best days in my life.
Same.
It was.
I did not want it to end. But it's so true. And Dr. Levit and I were talking about it. When you give of yourself, it's not like you're giving yourself away. You're getting back. You get back what you give. You know, so you give a big smile, you give a kind word, you give a listening ear. You're not giving yourself away. You're just sharing yourself, but then that sharing pays off in dividends. You get those shares back and so many more shares than what even that you gave out. Because everything that you do has a ripple effect, we were saying. When you give even a watermelon slice to other people, they are so appreciative. It puts a smile on their face, but it doesn't stop there, and that's the best part.
Yeah.
Then they're nice to their friends, they're nice to their kids, they're nice to their spouse.
Yes, because someone else was nice to them. So that's
right.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
They learn generosity. They learn that, generosity is not dead. We may be living in the year 2022, but generosity is not dead. Good manners are not dead. You know, we can go a little bit back in time to the 1950s and show generosity, show kindness, concern, care for other people.
That's for sure, Dina. I agree, and thank you so much for doing whatever you're doing with all your events. And there are so many good deeds from you coming all the time, and I'm just you mentor for me in this. I'm learning from you, and I just admire that. You're a very big inspiration for all of us.
And Jana, thank you so much for being the world's greatest director of my talent shows, and in general, just being there for me.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
It's one of
Yeah.
my favorite shows.
Yeah.
And it's in November 6th.
November
right?
6th, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me
And
too.
So all the talents
Me
from
too.
age, what age you
From
started this
age
year?
8 to 95.
That's
And if
amazing.
you're 98, you're still in the show. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. You can be as young as you want to be. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Life as I See It with your hostess, Dina Nierenberg. My favorite co-hostess of all time, Jana Ganusareva. And I want to thank Dr. Levit so much for being on the show today, for all of his wisdom, for all of his kindness, for all of his amazing words, for allowing us to utilize his gorgeous, spacious office, Eyal Levit Dermatology, Cosmetology, right here in the heart of Brooklyn, heart of Manhattan Beach, 35 West End Avenue. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today, for watching the show.